Vbeast, guys! And yes, I still don't have that camera. I don't know how many times I'm gonna say that before I get one. Anyways, I'm surprised it didn't rain today. It was like, I don't know, it was a pretty high percent chance of rain. Actually, I think it did rain because my bike is extremely dirty again. It's more than I remember. I don't know. I think it did, I just didn't hear it. Anyways, for those who do not know, Harley Davidson has released a new motor, and I think this is their 9th motor since their beginning. And they're over 100 years old, so 9 engines within that time period is really low, right? I think it's really low. But anyways, yeah, you better stay there, dude. Anyways, so they released a new engine. It's called a Milwaukee 8. What is so significant about this engine? Well, let's also put this into let's compare it to the twin cam. I think the twin cam is a total piece of garbage. And just to relate an experience, which really confirms that even people who love Harley Davidson thinks it's a piece of garbage. Okay, I went to go get my tires put on. I talked to an older gentleman. He had a Electroglide. It wasn't a new one, but it was still a twin cam. It wasn't super old, but it's still the twin cam. That dude absolutely hates his twin cam. He was ranting and raving about the problems he's had with it, and you know, he's just about done with that bike. And he was saying how he misses his old Evo, that he never should have gave that thing up. And I agreed with him on a lot of points on the Evo, that was basically a bulletproof motor for Harley Davidson. When it was released, that was a great engine. And those who don't know, the Evo engine is a single cam, and it was gear driven. Now, that engine was phenomenal. It was not a big, massive displacement engine, but it was very, very good. The Milwaukee 8, it seems like Harley Davidson is doing what Harley Davidson did back in the day when they released the Evo. It was the panhead, no, it was the shovel head. The shovel head really didn't have good stuff about it, you know. I guess it wasn't too popular, it had problems. And you know, Harley Davidson, you can look up the wiki, got into financial problems and whatnot, and they sold it to another group. That group, AMC, is it AMC? I could be totally wrong. I'm getting confused about the names here. Anyways, they sold it, and then that company that owned Harley Davidson, or that group, they created the Evo engine, which was not very successful in the beginning, but towards the end it was a very successful engine, and it actually brought Harley Davidson back from the dark ages. So I think Harley Davidson is trying to do the same thing. If anybody, you can look, the sales of Harley Davidson have been going down for quite some time, and I think Harley Davidson corporate has realized that they need to do something about it. So what they have done is they've released the Milwaukee 8 engine. I think it is a far superior engine compared to the twin cam. Let's go over it. Well, the Milwaukee 8, they call it the Milwaukee 8 because it's produced in their Milwaukee plant, and they call it the 8 because it has 4 valves per cylinder. It's 2 cylinders, so therefore it is 8 valves. Harley Davidson has now caught up with every other manufacturer of a V-twin motorcycle on the planet. So kudos to Harley, you finally caught up. Woo! And I think it's going to be a great engine though. They also introduced a cooling system. There's 2 options. There's a water cooled, and there's also like an oil cooled head, which is kind of similar to Victory, but Victory has more flow overall. Oil jackets, I would call them oil jackets instead of water jackets. Now what's very interesting about this motor is, just like the Evo, when they released it to revamp Harley Davidson, this Milwaukee 8 also has a single cam. There's only one cam. one cam, but is not gear driven, sadly enough. It is still a chain driven cam, but it does, anybody who knows Harley Davidson engines, that there is a cam plate, and behind the cam plate on the twin cam, which I'm talking about, it has a chain driving the two cams with the small tensioner, and that was the main problem, or one of the main problems of that engine. It was extremely hard to change that tensioner. It required pulling the cam plate out, which would also require removing the push rods. Now, most people would just cut them, replace the rods with adjustable push rods, and then install it back in there. And it was really a pain in the butt to do. Well, this new one is a single cam, and they have roller bearings on the front and back of this cam. So in the case, there's a bearing, and on the cam plate there is also a bearing, which is a much better design than the previous twin cam. They offer two different sizes. There is a 107 cubic inch, and there is a 114, which is the CVO model. And they are currently only offering it in the touring model, so baggers only, people. Why would they only offer it in the baggers? It's their newest engine, which is better than the twin cam. They're going to try to sell all the twin cams, and then they're going to put in everything else. Come on, man. Who's going to buy the twin cam after learning, hey, you brought this engine out, it's actually way better. Now, one thing I don't like about it is they still stuck with the, some people call it a 3-piece, some people call it a 2-piece, some people call it a flywheel, and some people call it a crankshaft. I call it a crankshaft. Their crankshaft has the two outer pieces. I'll have to put up a video, or I'll put up a picture. These two outer pieces, and then there is a pin holding those two outer pieces, and in between them are the piston rods. Now, that pin that they put on the twin cam, oh, check out, motorcycle? Is that a motorcycle? Yeah, it is, but that must be a noob. Anyways, so the pin that they had put in the previous, on the previous twin cam engine, the pin was extremely thin. Come on. And people were having problems with those two pieces of the crankshaft slipping, and then it would put the whole bike out of balance, or the whole engine out of balance. By slipping, I mean you got two pieces here, and instead of being like this, they're like this, right? Every light, I'm hitting every light. So Harley Davidson, they're still running that crankshaft, but there is a big difference. If anybody knows Harley Davidson, they know that S&S makes a lot of parts for Harley Davidson. Now, S&S also makes a crankshaft that is extremely similar to Harley Davidson, but the main difference is the pin is a solid pin. Now, Harley Davidson said that that is what they have done here. They have put a solid pin, so it is called a heavy-duty pin. So there is no slip in the crankshaft. And I've seen it. It is a beefy pin. It looks very similar to the S&S. And I think they did a really good job. I think it'll hold up, and it's not going to be a problem anymore. Of course, we'll yet to see. Wait till a whole year, and then all the bugs will be, you know, really coming out in that motorcycle engine. If any, actually. I mean, what if they don't have any bugs? What if they actually did their homework and it's fantastic? I don't know. But, let me see. They also put a balancer on the flywheel or crankshaft itself, which is, that's something very different for Harley Davidson. And what that does is, I was going to just pause it. But what that does, come on, I don't want to put my feet down. Come on. Yes. What that does is Harley Davidson has claimed that it reduces 75% of its shake. Anybody who has ridden a Harley Davidson, especially the bagger model, the street glide, the road glide, the electric glide, that thing shakes pretty violently compared to, let's say, this Victory. I mean, there is no shake to this bike when it is just chilling. My Vulcan had a little bit of shake. That's probably how much shake Harley Davidson has now. I do believe that's probably going to make some of the diehard Harley fans a little upset, because they probably relate that shake to a hot rod feel or power, but it's actually, to me, it's annoying to have that much shake. It's just ridiculous. So I'm glad that they fixed that. Another thing is their primary side. That's the left of the engine case. It is much slimmer. They put a slipper clutch, so that allows for Harley-Davidson to actually have less plates in there, and it's a much better performance from that clutch as well. And I think they've added maybe a half a quart of oil or something. Maybe it was a quart of oil, I don't remember. But they've increased the oil into that motor versus the twin cam, which is also a good thing, so it cools. They moved the exhaust port, so the exhaust is away from the leg of the rider, creating less heat. And one big thing besides the whole engine itself is on the touring models that they're in, they now have different suspension. They have Showa forks up front and adjustable shocks on the back. Adjustable in the sense of you could take your hand and twist the knob and boom, it's done. You don't have to use the special wrenches to adjust the shock. That is actually a really good idea. I like that. That's awesome. Besides that, I think that is all. Is it all? No, that's not all. I'm not done. I lied to you. So it does have those 4 valves per cylinder. So that allows Harley-Davidson to not just have 2 big heavy valves, so that actually gains them horsepower. There's more, like 50% more flow. Obviously, because you're adding 2 on each side, right? So 50% more airflow over the heads now, and cooler as well. I think it's like 30% cool, I don't remember. But it's cooler because of that as well. Let me see. They're also taking a book from Kawasaki and their Vulcan 1600 mean streak back in the day. Harley-Davidson is now running 2 spark plugs per cylinder, which also helps with the cooling and performance. That's really, really good. You know, that's a good idea that Kawasaki came with. I don't know, maybe Kawasaki bit off of somebody else. So all in all, I do think Harley-Davidson did a good thing by switching or making a new engine. It seems like this engine is going to be far superior to the twin cam. There's far too many people that complain about the twin cam, and I guess their sales really show it. This has been another random weekday video by your very own Vbeast. Thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Most of all, have a Vbeast day.